The Vice President and I just finished a good conversation with the 911 Commission. It was wide-ranging. It was important. It was just a good discussion, and I appreciated the members. I want to thank the chairman and vice chairman for bringing the commission here and giving us a chance to share views on different subjects. And they had a lot of good questions, and I'm glad I did it. I'm glad I took the time. This is an important commission, and it's important that they ask the questions they ask so that they can help make recommendations necessary to better protect our homeland. But I enjoyed it.
In this morning's New York Times lead editorial, the president's testimony, it would have been a pleasure to be able to congratulate President Bush on his openness in agreeing to sit down today with the Independent Commission on the 9/11 attacks and answer questions. Unfortunately, Mr. Bush conditioned his cooperation on stipulations that range from the questionable to the ridiculous. The strangest of the president's conditions is that he will testify only in concert with Vice President Dick Cheney. The White House has given no sensible reason for why Mr. Bush is unwilling to appear alone. Further down in the editorial, they write, given the White House's concern for portraying Mr. Bush as a strong leader, it's remarkable that this critical appearance is being structured in a way that is certain to provide fodder for late-night comedians who enjoy depicting him as a docile puppet of his vice president. Blackwood, New Jersey, good morning.
Good morning.
What's your reaction to the president and vice president in front of the 9/11 Commission this morning?
I think their methodology is quite interesting, that both of them would go in to a closed session, and instead of becoming like public, going on live like Condoleezza Rice did, it kind of like speaks for itself. It says to me that we're not going to get the truth about anything they have to say.
Our next call comes from Houston, Texas. Good morning.
Hi, good morning. I think that it's people are so blind when they call in. Why is Bush requesting that it's not under oath, that there's no transcript taken, that there's no audio transcript taken, that there's no written transcript taken, that Dick Cheney has to be with him holding his hand under the table like the Olsen twins? Why do they have to be together?
President, what topic did the commissioners want to spend most of the time on? And were there any subjects that you didn't answer or were advised by your counsel not to answer?
I was never advised by my counsel not to answer anything. I answered every question they asked. It's probably best that I not go into the details of the conversation and let them incorporate into their report. There was a lot of interest, excuse me, a lot of interest in about how to better protect America. In other words, they're very interested in the recommendations that they're going to lay out, and I'm interested in those as well. And we discussed a lot of things, Terry, a lot of subjects. It was a very cordial conversation. I was impressed by the questions, and it was I think it helped them understand how I think and how I run the White House and how we deal with threats.
Grand Rapids, Michigan. Go ahead.
Yes, I have a point to make after I say what I think of the two testifying together. I think that they're babysitting each other. In fact, I think Cheney is babysitting George Bush.
Long Island, New York, what's your reaction to the president and vice president in front of the 9/11 Commission today?
Well, as a Republican voting for both of them, I was very shocked to see that there's no tape, nothing going to be taken on him, because I was very surprised that he's going to be going up there talking. I mean, any court you go into, you always have people taking records, what you're saying. And why is that him? What make him so great? I vote for him the last election, which I was going to vote for him this election too. But I have to think about it. And thank you very much for taking my call.
Our next call comes from Dayton, Ohio. Good morning, Dayton.
Good morning. As far as Bush and Cheney testifying together, it just enforces my opinion that Bush doesn't have an original thought of his own, and he can't stand on his own 2 feet.
John.
Mr. President, as you know, a lot of critics suggested that you wanted to appear jointly with the Vice President so that you two could keep your story straight or something.
Yeah.
Could you tell us what you think of the value of appearing together and how you would answer those critics?
Yeah, first of all, look, I mean, if we had something to hide, we wouldn't have met with them in the first place. We answered all their questions, and as I say, I think I came away good about the session because I wanted them to know, you know, how I set strategy, how we run the White House, how we deal with threats. The Vice President answered a lot of their questions, answered all their questions, and I think it was important for them to see our body language as well, how we work together. But it was, you know, the commissioners will speak for themselves over time. They will let you know whether they thought it was a fruitful series of discussions. I think they did. I think they found it to be useful.
Katati, California. Go ahead.
Hi. Thank you for letting me call in. I really think that it's a shame that Bush and Cheney are testifying together. I think it's a shame that they're testifying not under oath. I wish that the American people could see them, and I wish that they would be under oath.
From Miramar, Florida.
Good morning.
Good morning.
I think this appearance is just a charade. Given that September 11 was the most traumatic event that happened in America, I would tend to think that the president would want to appear separately, give the commission as much time as possible, and the vice president likewise. But given the fact that they both oppose and were strongly against the formation of a commission to investigate September 11, now it's just a case of way to appease the American people, a mere PR stunt. It's another case of them deceiving the American people. They weren't interested in having an investigation, but it's election year, and to say, well, we did testify, you know, we can use this. But look at it. They're not going to have any recordings, any transcripts of it, so they can come back and say if things were to leak out, oh, we never said this, or this didn't happen this way. So it's just a mere charade. I don't give any credence to it.
Yeah, Adam.
Mr. President,
Yes.
don't you think that the families deserve to have a transcript or to be able to see what you
Adam,
said?
you asked me that question yesterday.
For an
I
answer
got the
today.
same answer, yeah.